Hard Way to Success shows the stories of those sports heroes on their way to success, to inspire generations of people and to get you closer to your hero.
I'd say Becky is quite a few different things. She can be funny and outgoing, but then she can be very serious as well.
That's quite hard. I'd say she's very bubbly, chatty kind of person, and just slightly similar to me in some ways, but then at the same time we're both very different.
In gym, they're both very confident. Ellie's quite confident in her own abilities, and I think that shows on the competition floor, and Becky's always been confident when she competes, and I think that shows in the results.
I think Ellie, she's been involved in gymnastics obviously since she was 4 or 5, watching her sister, and also encouraging her sister when she was very little. She was in the gym when she was about 5 in a little class. I went over to her sister on occasions and used to put her arm around her sister going, "Don't worry, Becky, don't worry." She was always the sweet little sister that looked after her big sister. So she's seen her sister go through all these different emotions, competitions, results, highs and lows, and I think it's helped her massively.
I'd probably say when I'm in the gym, I'll probably just try and enjoy it a bit more. I try not to get so stressed as she does.
She's a very confident person in and out the gym, and I think that's just a great thing, because obviously you need to kind of be happy and positive about what you're trying to achieve and what you want to do, and I think she's very strong-minded. She knows what she wants, and whether that's like in school or in the gym, she kind of just always strives to be the best that she can.
They're really important for each other because they support each other. They get on each other's nerves sometimes, but I don't think they'd be without each other. And they're there to support each other when they get injured or in the successes as well.
When I was little, my mum just put me in preschool class as well. We waited around for her, so I don't know if I would have started gymnastics if she hadn't.
I mean, I obviously grew up for a short amount of time without her, and I mean, I think I'd be a bit lost without her now. We do a lot together. We train together pretty much 24/7, and we're at home together a lot of the time. This year's been a little bit different because I've been away a lot, and when I've been home, Ellie's been away. But I mean, it's great. We get on really well, and of course we have our sisterly fallouts. That's normal, but we do. I think we both just love each other at the end of the day.
It's good to have both of us in the sport, and both enjoying it and doing really well in it. It's really good as well. So
I mean, Ellie started gymnastics mainly because I was already in the gym, and she started very young. She started when she was 3. I started when I was 7, which is quite late, and it's nice. And sometimes it can be a bit much. I think there are obviously days when we just have had enough of each other, and we have to be with each other in the gym and at home. But I think a lot of the time, like, we both kind of get on with our individual programs, and we're just mainly there to support each other.
I'd probably say she's quite important because like if I have a bad day, then she like picks me up a bit as well. So as well as Claire does as well, and my mum and stuff. So
I think now, kind of as I'm coming towards the end of my career and she's coming through, I guess it's great for me to know that she's one of the top level juniors coming through. So I mean, I can always see what she's doing in the gym, and likewise she can see what I'm doing. So I think we both bounce off each other, and obviously when she has bad days, I have bad days. We both have good days, and I think we just learn from each other a lot. half of my career was pretty smooth. Through the junior ranks, coming into my first year as a senior, everything seemed to go pretty well and just kind of fall into place, and most of my competitions I hit my routines and my body was pretty good, and a lot of my competitions I was always aiming for medals and kind of titles. The Olympic year came round, and for Beijing for me was just really all about experience, and it was a phenomenal experience, and just to make the team was amazing. And then from after that point things took a bit of a turn and went a bit downhill.
The struggles with Becky, really, I mean, she was a diamond for years, worked very hard, and was always in the shadow of other gymnasts. But she took the British titles for 7 years on the trot, so from age 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So she had a very good run. And then at 16, obviously went to Beijing, and is still the highest all-around Olympic gymnast for Great Britain. And then post-Beijing, I think that was difficult for her. Didn't have a lot of support there, whereas she finished the Olympics, and you need a bit of downtime and understanding that if she wants to continue, she needs a few weeks out. We didn't really get that. We just went for another competition, and expectation then suddenly hit her.
The Europeans was my highlight of 2010. We got our first team medal, and that was kind of an amazing experience. I had a really great championships throughout the whole of those Europeans, and was just excited to then move forwards. And 2011 came around. Everything was going well at the beginning of the year. I just had my birthday, and then the day after my birthday I ruptured my Achilles, and that was kind of the biggest blow, I'd say, in my career so far. And it was a bit of a shock to the system, because my body had been feeling good. I hadn't been having pain in the Achilles, it was just one of those things. And for me it was really disappointing at the time, and my immediate thought was the Olympics are a year away, and am I going to be back in time?
She took off a double pike, and it just didn't take off. She knew exactly that she'd done, and then tore the Achilles, and then when I looked at it you could see that there was an issue there. And you always hang on to a little hope that it might not be what you know it is.
I remember the doctors just told me, don't worry, it'll be about 6 months, but you can come back. So I kind of just took it from there to just mentally relax. I knew I didn't have any comps, and in a way it was quite nice, because I had no more pressure on me for a good couple of months. I could just relax and focus on my rehab. My first competition we were planning back for, I think it was around the August of that year, and it was a couple of weeks before, and I was just started putting my bars out from the pit over hard, and I was pretty happy with everything. And then that first session over hard, I caught my release, I hung off, and I rolled my other ankle. And so then that did frighten me. I was frightened to then know that I could that's how easy you could just be injured.
The moment, if I recall, when I really thought she might throw the towel in was not after the Achilles. After the Achilles was better. The disappointment of the Olympics was very disappointing for both me and her.
The start of the Olympic year was horrible for me. I had a lot of different injuries. I was still managing my Achilles, I was still managing my injuries on my other feet, my back, and I was struggling. Came round to Europeans, and by the time we got to trials I was just pretty beaten up. And I remember our technical director just said, just call it a day, go home, rest, leave the Europeans, and just get yourself fit for the Olympic Games in the summer. So it was disappointing, but I knew the Olympics was the one thing that I wanted. So we went back, we rested, we got fit. Trials came around, and I was in pretty good shape. We made the decision to stay off floor just to protect my feet. We were working floor along the sidelines as an option, like if the team needed me, worst case scenario I could deliver a floor routine. And so the trials came around, and I did have some mistakes, I had my ups and downs, but overall I was fairly pleased with what I'd accomplished kind of from where I'd come from. And then it was just kind of came down to the selection, and to not be selected for that team was, again, other than my Achilles, was the most disappointing part of my career. And I'd never not made a team in my life unless I'd been injured until that point. So to not be selected was really, really disappointing. And something that I never really want to experience again, and I hope that Ellie doesn't ever have to experience anything like that.
But when she ruptured her Achilles, I was still quite young, so I didn't really know it was a massive thing, but then looking back on it, I realised it was, and then actually when she didn't make 2012, it was a bit like why, and we don't know, and that actually made me quite upset for her when she didn't make 2012. So yeah, it was quite hard to watch, but we all supported her through it. So
when she's injured, it's not as hard as like when she doesn't get selected for something when she thinks she's fit. Like when she didn't get selected for 2012, that was very hard. She was very, very down for a few months, and I was very worried about her, but she pulled herself back out of it. It's hard watching them being upset.
I wouldn't really say I thought about quitting. It was a really, really hard period. I'd say when somebody describes somebody dying, I'd say to me that's what it felt like. I'd never really experienced yet anybody dying, but just when you put all your time and effort and energy for so long into something, and then to have it just taken away from you, it really felt like you'd done all of that work for nothing, and it was really, really hard. It's just so hard to put into words how much it meant, and I had a choice to make after that. Did I want to go again with the risk of that happening again, or did I want to just prove a point and prove them all wrong?
I just tried to be there for her, just supported her. I cried with her at first because she was so heartbroken, and then it was a matter of trying to pull her back up. It's not nice to see your daughter so down.
just because we knew that it wasn't over, we knew she still had other stuff to accomplish. Like if she not carried on, she wouldn't have achieved everything she's done this year and stuff last year as well. So.
Like I said, I bought her a kitten to try and cheer her up, and that did actually work. And we just looked to the future really together. We did try and put a peel in, so we put that together. It got her quite motivated, but that wasn't taking any notice of. And then it was just sort of get fit, get better, and do everything we could for Becky to help her get back on track.
It was hard, and I took a bit of time off. I had a holiday with my friends, and I went on holiday again with my family, and I missed it. I knew that deep down that it wasn't over and I wasn't done. So after that period, I had another surgery on my ankle, just to kind of clean it up and fix any problems going forwards. And I was back in a boot. I probably spent from 2011 to 13 like most of my time in a boot and on crutches. And yeah, I kind of just came back and spoke to my coach, and we were like, right, I'm going to give it another go. And this time around, we need to make sure that there's no doubt in the selector's mind that I can't be selected for a team. So we then thought, right, we need to be well enough prepared and make yourself that good that they can't not put you on. The decision was that we'd just go for just bars, and it was quite difficult because obviously bars is quite a technical event, and so it put a lot of pressure just on that piece. But at the same time, I was excited to kind of start building a new routine, and we completely changed the first half. We looked at my weaknesses, looked at my strengths, and reconstructed this routine, and it was exciting to kind of go out and test it. I succeeded at a few of my competitions at the start of 2013, and then I made the European team. That was a great high for me to know that I could be injured and be out, and after the disappointment of not making the Olympic team, to come back and be selected again, that was great. And I made the European final and qualified in second, and that was a huge achievement for me to kind of come back and then rank so highly. And then in the final I had a mistake, and I remember after that final I was devastated. And I remember ringing my mum and just being like, maybe it's Ellie's turn to just take this over, I'm not sure I can keep going, and taking all this disappointment. And I remember I was crying and she was crying, and it was hard. And then again I had a choice: do I just call it a day, or I hadn't put in all of that work to just to just stop.
Becky has never said she would quit ever. She lives for gymnastics, but I've seen her really, really down, and when she cries and she's really unhappy about something, then I've said, is it worth it in the long run? You've already achieved a lot, but she's got goals that she wants to achieve that she hasn't achieved yet, so she wants to carry on.
I've seen her been quite down, and I've just told her, like, it's not over till it's over. Like, I know you still got more in you, you still got more that you can achieve, so like, it's not worth giving it all up now. So
I think that people often sort of assume that it's Becky that inspires Ellie, and it is, but it works both ways as well, because they're different characters and different physical attributes, different skill bases, the different strengths and weaknesses. They then support each other through that. Becky with her experience, and you know, Ellie is a great companion with Becky. Becky's very serious about everything, whereas Ellie's a bit more of a joke and a laugh and has a bit more fun with things. It lightens the mood a bit for Becky. Obviously seeing her sister go through all sorts of ups and downs, and realises it's a long road to success.
I hadn't really done any major internationals, so that I was just looking to go in and enjoy it and just do my best, and then coming away with our first team medal at EOF, and then first gold medal as well, was just amazing. So. Yeah, the EOF kind of gave me a bit of a look into what junior Europeans would be like, and I did pretty similar things at Europeans to EOF, but I stepped up a place in all around by coming third instead of fourth. Managed to get gold on vault again, and then we managed to get a team silver as well, so it was amazing.
It's not very often that we get joint squads with the juniors, but obviously because those Europeans would join, it was nice that we kind of got to work together.
I didn't want to be a team coach. I wanted to be able to be at the senior training and the junior training. So I think the pressure was on Becky as well. When Ellie got the vault gold, it was a bit like, whoa, this would be difficult to swallow if Ellie came back with gold medal and Becky didn't.
I sort of expected Ellie's gold medal on vault because I know that she's very strong on that piece. The all-around medal that she got, the bronze one, that surprised me and that made me cry because I didn't expect her to do that well. I know she's a good gymnast, but I know she's got a lot of competition in Europe, so I didn't expect her to do that. So that was another emotional time, and you can't relive those moments, they'll just live with you forever.
The day of final, I remember I didn't sleep very well. I was really nervous. I felt quite sick, and then we watched Ellie in the morning. I remember I was in a room with Hannah Whelan, and we were watching her on the iPads because obviously we couldn't be at the arena because it was a bit too early for us to go. And yeah, I watched her, and then we watched her win, and I was like, oh, as if she's finished now, and I haven't even started. But yeah, it just was a great confidence boost to know that she went out, she'd done exactly what she'd been training and had done really, and she did her job, produced the medals, and there was no reason why I couldn't go out and do the same. And obviously if I was nervous, like I obviously had my doubts because I've been in the finals before and that's where it had gone wrong, but at the same time I knew that I'd worked hard enough and I knew I was prepared, so I just had to try and relax a bit more and just enjoy it.
Oh, I was so nervous for her. I couldn't even shout for her, I was just sitting there. Actually, I was sitting next to Ruby Harold and we were both just holding each other's hands, so nervous, and then as soon as she landed we just burst into tears with happiness for her. So
yeah, they make me cry now. It's what she's wanted for years, it's what she's worked for, so it was very important. I watched the final with my heart in my mouth, and just to see her so happy and so relieved afterwards, you know, that just really touched me. I remember it forever.
Everything that I'd been through, my whole journey, all the disappointment of 2012, kind of, it all came down to that medal, and it shouldn't really be like that. It's about every competition, but for me, I'd been striving for that individual medal so much, and just to prove that I am good enough, it was really hard for me to know that out of a team of 5 at that particular time, I'd always been like, you know, rank 1 or 2 in the country, and then to kind of, out of a team of 5, to not even have made the 5, it was really hard for me to take. And to come back, I knew I had something to prove, and I felt like I always had a lot of pressure on me to kind of prove that. Yeah, it was just really, really emotional when I landed. I was just so relieved. That was, I'd say, the main thing. It was just relief to know that I could go out there and I'd done it.
I think it was, I mean, the moment when she landed the routine and her face, she knew, she didn't need the score or anything, she knew there was a medal, whether it was gold or not. I kind of thought it was gold, but I didn't want to allow myself to think that. And, you know, nothing has really changed that much in her work the last year or 2. I think she's always been close, but she's always sort of been in the shadow of Beth a little bit. She's done so many European finals. She's been 4th on bars a couple of times, 6th, 4th on vault, and you know, she's been there or thereabouts. And what we have done historically is we've done the job for the team. We haven't saved ourselves and just thought about what we want for us. And strangely enough, historically, she's never fallen for the team. She's only fallen when it's been her individual chance. So if I look back at all the Europeans, yeah, she's made finals and she's cracked out the routines for the team without mistake. And then she's made a mistake when it's been her individual.
Next year's Europeans, I'm hoping to probably remain my vault title and then just see if I can make as many finals as I can, and I just try and enjoy every competition I can, and whatever happens, happens. So.
I think it's really special, and I think until this point in both of our careers, we've never really been head-to-head fighting for the spot on the team. So I think next year it will change, but the nice thing about it is the fact that I'm a bar worker, and that's my speciality really, and I'd be looking also to try and deliver beam for the team and potentially vault depending on how fit my body can be. And Ellie's more of a floor vaulter and all-rounder, so from that perspective, when you're looking at teams moving forwards, especially towards Rio, because we both know for me it's really going to be my last shot, and I mean it should be Ellie, one of Ellie's best chances, and it's going to be tough, and I'm fully aware there's a chance that I might not make it. I mean, Ellie's in the better place right now, but at the same time, I don't see there's any reason why we both can't be on that team.
I think if Becky doesn't get in, she knows that she's done her best on the run up to it. I think Ellie would be really disappointed if she didn't get in. But if it was because of an injury, there's a reason, and we'll just keep our fingers crossed that they both manage it. It'd be amazing.
I want both of them on the Rio team really. So Ellie for the floor and vault, and Becky for bars and beam. That'd be lovely for me. We can do that. And it is pure coincidence. It's not my manipulation, although some people might think it is. I haven't manipulated it that way. They just have fallen into those categories of Ellie being a vault and floor worker and Becky being bars. So both on the Rio team is the target, and both finals on the apparatus, at least one of their best apparatus. Short term, Ellie now she's just finished the Youth Olympics. Good result there for her. So she's got a little injury. We need to get better. So short term, she'll rest for a little while whilst we put together some new elements. While Becky needs to get a slightly different routine out for the World Championships.
I'd say coming through this next cycle, it's really nice to kind of have someone there. I'm obviously coming towards the end of my career now, and a lot of my old teammates have gone, so it's nice to have somebody in the gym that I'm also close to at the same time and can relate to what I'm going through as well. And I think it would be strange to be training without her. It's going to be strange when the day comes that I'm not doing it anymore, and I know that day's not too many years away now, and I just want to enjoy every competition that I get now, and I think I've learned so much throughout my journey, my career, that nothing is wasted, whether it's a great comp or a bad comp. I've learned from everything, and the whole process of 2012, I learned a lot about myself, and I learned a lot about how to handle myself. I think I matured a lot, and I think I know what I want now, and I think I know how to get it, and I've got a great support team behind me to help me, and my family have never put pressure on me. My mum's always said, if you want to call it a day, it's totally your decision. Like, no one's forcing you to do anything, and she'll support me 100%. There's been times when she's told me to call it a day when I haven't been ready to, because it's just so hard for her to see me how upset I was. And I think it wasn't just me that it affected not making that team. It did have a big impact on the family as well, because I was so down for a good month, I would say. It was a horrible time, and to kind of be rewarded how we did at the Europeans, for us to both be walking away European champions, it just shows that anything can happen, and you just got to ride the storm, I guess. And we've had some pretty low points, both of us, in our careers, and we've had some major highs, and hopefully we've got a lot more to come.
Don't let anyone tell you can't do something.
If you believe you can do it, that's all that matters. Never give up.